Our firm represents some of America's last best places, and the stewards of these lands are the true conservation heroes. From our map plantation belts to recreational and working lands across the Deep South, landowners trust us to show their property's unique intrinsic value, monetize that value through a sale, and see to it that the next landowner will protect the legacy they've built. For over 30 years, we've served this specialized niche, building it into what it is today. As its servant leaders, we go beyond the role of the typical land broker. One of our differences is our short film series where we honor the landowner and tell the land's story. Today, we're in my backyard, northern Jefferson County. I'm honored to be on a property that in my youth was renowned across the region. I remember vividly the stories of this property and the improvements that were made to it. However, we are also going to see that time hasn't always been on the land's side. Past owners had a change in circumstances, and a new owner recently took the reins only to be unexpectedly called in another direction. Today, one can almost sense the land's anticipation as we look for the next land steward who will help take this property back to the forefront as one of Florida's signature places. It's with great pleasure I welcome you to Hay Pond. One of our most requested properties is a mini plantation or gentleman's farm, something in the $1 to $3 million price range, surrounded by like-minded landowners and within 45 minutes to a great town. It's also one of the hardest of all types of land to find and getting harder even for us. When I first had the vision for this niche 30 years ago to show these lands' unique intrinsic values to folks across the world, even in my wildest dreams I had no idea it would take off like it did. The current owner is a great example and came all the way from North Texas just to own this property. That used to not happen.
Hi, my name's Daniel Morgan. Welcome to Hay Pond. We came over here and drove down the driveway. My wife was here with me, and she loves the pecan trees. She loves the whole rows of the pecans and mowing through it. The pond. Whenever we bought this place, we didn't even know what a floodable duck pond was. We were just looking for. We went out on a mission looking for the most beautiful land, and we had a giant net thrown across North Carolina, North Georgia, North Florida. We were looking to just find a legacy property that we could pass on whenever we started the search for this place. Oh, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. We drove in, and it's got all the giant trees with the mossy oaks, and that was one of the things that my wife was really looking for. So I could just tell that this was the most fertile land around. It was gorgeous.
These lands we represent are special, and each has its own reputation. That matters. Whether it's working lands or high-quality recreational property like this one, the local community knows and reveres its best places.
Everywhere that we go, we have somebody telling us a story about how their father, their grandfather, they all came over and fished in this pond. I've heard stories. I don't know if they're fisherman stories or what, but I had a guy come over here and change my tire on my tractor, and he had a story for me. I go to the hamburger place and I get another story. It's like this property is literally a county legend on this hay pond that's here, and the fish in it. It's amazing.
I remember back in my younger years, the hay pond was legendary in Jefferson County for large bass. A good friend of mine, Scott Baker, who'd probably caught more 10-pound plus fish than anyone I knew of, had the rights to fish at the hay pond, and that was always his go-to spot.
Monticello is a quaint little town just outside of Tallahassee, south of Thomasville. And it is one of the most beautiful areas that you'll ever see. It's, if you like the live oaks with the mossy oak on it, they're giant here. We had so many plans here. We were going to bring horses in and have a whole back area over here where we had pasture. We were going to fix the floodable duck pond. I've got a son that loves to hunt. There's deer everywhere.
I asked Daniel if he were to write a note to the next landowner, what would it say?
My note would be, feel like that that's part of God's calling, is for us to take dominion over things.
I wholeheartedly agree with Daniel. I love work. There is something biblical about managing and maintaining these properties, and when it's done right, it's a glorious thing. The older I get, the better I understand it's the journey with others that's the most important part of this world God created. I'm glad to spend my journey with folks that share a love of this land. One should understand that this neighborhood is about as good as it gets, and bordering the 16,000-acre Pinckney Hill plantation ensures game flow and tranquility. When it comes to social storm property attributes, Hay Pond is at the top of the list. This is a term we trademarked over a decade ago when we first recognized this new asset class. Back then, we were told it was crazy. Aside from those that shared a biblical worldview, most never considered that they would need a place to go in a pandemic, war, or social unrest. Sadly, in today's world, everyone does, with more problems added daily. The good news is that following these tenets affords not only safety for one's family, but is also a safe investment, which is yet another major concern in today's world. The social storm property score here is exceptionally good, providing this property with additional investment benefits whereby it will increase in value in both good times and bad, a perfect hedge. The wealth and appreciation of the merchantable timber stored here is safer than in any bank. The freedom and independence this property offers is sadly foreign to most Americans today. There's water everywhere, and the crime here is almost non-existent. A smart person wants to find wealth as the ability to help others in the time of their sickness or need. To be able to offer friends and family a place like this and spend the next pandemic or worse is the definition of true wealth.
Yeah, well, the world gets crazier every day, and going from the hustle and bustle from North Texas, where, we have business, and being able to pull up here, I can see it on all my kids' faces. It's just a point of contentment and peace. I see it on my wife's face when we pull in. It's just like a deep breath. Well, it has, a lot of attributes that can, be able to handle a social storm. I mean, it's got its own water source. The fertility in the land is unbelievable. So we know for sure that we could go grow crops here. And the glorious thing about it is we can take all of our family, we can take our friends, we can take, all these people that we love and adore and be able to help and shelter them. This whole area, I mean, we're so far back off, my wife feels safe, secure. It's nice to be here. Everybody's relaxed, and the anxiety is just kind of gone away once we pull in.
Great land is a lot like this classic Jeep. Ownership and enjoying it with friends and family is a real journey. I'll never have this Jeep completely perfect, but to me, like land, the excitement lies in improving things, making it better than it was before, while at the same time creating wealth.
Along with the people around here, I'm going to miss for sure, but just the feeling of just nothing going on. Just being able to pull up. We've got it set up like a big camping trip here. So I think that's what I would miss the most.
This is our niche, and we're at Servant Leaders here to help you too. We have closed enough of these lands to have sold every map plantation in the Red Hills and half of all the plantations in the Albany Belt at least once. Our role is to share this knowledge on how to make owning property like Hay Pond both recreationally and financially rewarding. The services we provide is beyond that of a typical land broker, which is evident of the fact that we have closed some of these properties now an unheard of 3, 4, and even 5 times in our career. The inside knowledge earned by closing an average of $500,000 a day, 7 days a week, is available to you too. All you have to do is simply reach out and get to know us. We look forward to helping you too.